Content warning. This video is about a sensitive topic. We've removed any graphic content to comply with YouTube's guidelines. We aim to provide informative, factual journalism on a tragic event in the public interest that does not dismiss its seriousness. All clips are used under the doctrine of fair use for news reporting and analysis. Some points made in this video are opinions and theories. I am not responsible for third-party information. Folks, I've just seen something very disturbing. So according to a post that I've just seen on the r/Epstein subreddit, apparently just as the FBI launched its child SA investigation into Epstein in 2018, he apparently immediately ordered multiple 55-gallon barrels of sulfuric acid to the island. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Every day it's a new thing. I feel like I was about to record something else that I'd prepared, and then I just see this and I think, oh my God, I just can't believe it. Okay, so look, this is a wire request form, all right? Gemini Seawater Systems. 55-gallon drums of sulfuric acid with fuel and insurance charge for transport, materials for conductivity probe, replacement pH, and cable. Okay, now, what could this be? Okay, we're going to get into the comments and work it out. Every time something this crazy comes up, it seems to be we say, well, there could be a reason for this. Maybe he needed that on the island for, I don't know, maybe submarines need some sulfuric acid, maybe the water pool system. I don't know. I've never needed sulfuric acid. I'm a normal guy, all right? I'm not in no files. It's just coincidences just aren't a thing anymore, okay? So let's read the comments. Let's educate ourselves and find out what the innocent reason for having 55-gallon barrels of sulfuric acid delivered to the island, okay? It says they had a full dentist office set up on the island. They had dental anesthesia at every property and on the plane. I'll find you a link, but if you search anesthetics, you'll find a record of establishing LSJ Dental LLC, run by Karina Shuliak, his girlfriend, who I did a full breakdown on yesterday. You should go and watch that. They ordered a dental chair to the island, listed in the registration that they'll be pulling teeth. Edit, I found this just now. Sorry for disturb, Jeffrey. You were telling me about the dentist. Should I talk to Leslie and ask her to arrange an appointment for the next week? Or maybe I should do it as soon as my recital over. What is the implication here? I hope the implication isn't that they were removing teeth before they put people in barrels of acid. Hopefully not. We've all seen Breaking Bad and we know what that's all about, right? They were making bodies in barrels of acid. Okay, it's crazy. All right, it says, friendly reminder that Bannon's old hot tub was covered in acid per his landlord. Excuse me? Why was Steve Bannon's hot tub allegedly filled with acid? Steve Bannon again. Steve Bannon's at it once again. Why was it filled with acid? Let's have a look. Right, the Washington Post reported a story on Saturday investigating counselor to the president, Steve Bannon's legal residence, since no one really knows where he lives. But in the course of that investigation, they uncovered something that's even more disturbing: a hot tub at a house where Bannon claimed to live that looked like it was filled with acid. Can we just go one day without me finding something just horrendous and scary? Okay, the Post started looking into Bannon's house because while he claimed his residency in Florida, he was spending most of his time in Washington, D.C., but his address was listed as his business manager's office in California. In fact, prosecutors in Miami have opened an investigation into Bannon's claims to be a Florida resident from 2014 to 16, because although Bannon signed a lease on a Florida home for that period, his ex-wife Diane was the one residing there, and neighbors told the Post they had never seen Bannon near the house. The theory that he claimed to live in Florida because the state doesn't have income tax, so he could avoid paying taxes on his earnings by claiming to reside there, but then gets weird. The Post obtained a February 2015 email from Bannon's former landlord that read, entire jacuzzi bathtub seems to have been covered in acid. What? I said what before I even read what. It says the landlord also noticed that padlocks had been installed in interior doors, creepy, while other doors were totally removed, also creepy. I'm out of town, Bannon responded, a likely story. Is there any way you can talk with Diane and sort things out? It leads to a disturbing question I never thought I'd ask. What happened in Steve Bannon's hot tub? Was it a hot tub party gone awry? Did someone put too much chlorine in the water? Was someone getting rid of a body Breaking Bad style? The people deserve to know, all right? This is the classic Breaking Bad. I don't want to, as Adrian, all right, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But yeah, that is insane. Okay, that is actually insane. It says allegedly it wasn't tested and the landlord was just guessing, but that article leaves a lot out. From a more detailed source, they opened an investigation. We've already read that. Addressing the bathroom. In March, Herrera finally admitted to Curtis that the prior tenants had manufactured meth there. What? So this is really Breaking Bad for real. It says that's when Curtis went to stay in a hotel. Again, his symptoms subsided. He also purchased kit tests for methamphetamine in the house. At first, he focused on the kitchen, master bathroom, and guest room. The test showed a high level of contamination, so Curtis ordered 6 more tests and had them shipped overnight. The contamination was through the roof, so Curtis hired a company to test the house as well. The test confirmed levels of meth and high levels of cocaine. So I imagine people are assuming bodies were dissolved, but it instead appears like his ex-wife was cooking meth. Oh, yeah, no. It's not, they're not dissolving bodies. They were just, my ex-wife was just cooking meth. Other articles link her to smuggling marijuana into jail as well, so her behavior tracks as expected. What are we talking about? This is crazy. Okay. This is apparently the logical explanation for the barrels of acid. Okay, so we're gonna finally absolve Epstein of at least one crime. All right. It says for the reverse osmosis desalination plant on the island, you can find it in the emails. Someone saying I recall another post that lined up with an email that he received around that time. That he may have received some heads up they were beginning to investigate him, would need to see the file to compare the timeline. People saying it could be used 100% for both purposes. The dude also had a dental chair on the island for pulling teeth, and then a hatch that dropped into the ocean from the side of a cliff. Okay. Why would you need a specific dental chair for pulling teeth? Couldn't that be done in a normal chair? Isn't it more likely the dental chair was used for generic dental purposes? All right, this is getting childish now. It says if you're going to be a supervillain and torture people by pulling teeth, you've got to be willing to just commit to the whole bit. No one respects a generic thug who pulls teeth out using a pair of pliers while you're tied up to a regular chair. They respect a professional who wears the correct PPE as outlined in OSHA Regulation 29 CFR 1910, 1030, and 29 CFR 1910, 132. Obviously, this only works due to it applying to the employee, not the victim. It's crazy, all right? I want to hear someone give me some evidence that this was used. It does sound like they're not being used for bodies, to be fair, okay? So look, I'll just keep it real, right? We're working this all out day by day ourselves. It says sulfuric acid cannot fully make bodies disappear. Have you not seen Mythbusters? But apparently it can destroy DNA and etch concrete, among other things. It says they also use it on etching replacement body joint parts. Sulfuric acid peroxide 7 parts to 3 will dissolve all organic matter, though. They call it the Piranha solution. Do I want to click this? I'm scared. The Piranha solution, which contains, but not to be confused with Caro's acid, is known as Piranha etch, a mix of sulfuric acid and hydrogen peroxide, resulting in a mixture used to clean organic residues off substrates, for example, silicon wafers. The solution can easily dissolve fabric and skin. It's named the piranha fish because its tendency, it's named after the piranha fish due to its tendency to rapidly dissolve and consume organic materials through vigorous chemical reactions. I'm scared. I'm very scared. Okay, I wonder if they had any large shipments of H2O2 around the same time. Maybe this one. Oh, don't tell me that he's getting that ordered as well. Hydrogen peroxide. Just when you think, like, you've found the perfect defense and you found the perfect reason for Epstein to be absolved, and then it turns out maybe people are getting dissolved. Tropical shipping and construction. Hydrogen peroxide has got it on deck, all right? It was sent a few months after the sulfuric acid for what it's worth. During that time, I bet Jeff was frantically watching reruns of Mythbusters and Breaking Bad to figure out what he did wrong. When you're buying things which could be legally damning in combination, you stagger your procurement, okay? All right. What's that? On December the 6th, 2018, 330 gallons of sulfuric acid. On February the 28th, 2019, 6 pounds of peroxide, 6 pounds of lye. Curious what role lye and rosin would play, neutralizing the acid and then turning the remains into soap? Oh my God, don't tell me he was making soap out of fools. Doesn't that say 100 pounds of peroxide? Definitely located peroxide, but I don't know if this indicates anything significant. 6 pounds of peroxide is roughly 70 ounces, basically 2 normal-sized bottles if you went and picked it up from a pharmacy or a grocery store. Edit, someone asked a question, and upon rereading the document, the package containing peroxide is doubled, so there should be approximately 12 pounds of peroxide. On further inspection, all PF of the materials being shipped by a hardwood flooring company. Each of the items listed will be used during the installation and staining of a hardwood floor. Will take a long time with a body. There are a lot more effective acids to use for this purpose. I know, see my later comment, it's just sulfuric acid when combined with peroxide can be a very good solution to dissolve organic matter too. Interesting. Okay. John George Hay, the acid bath murderer, was an English serial killer who dissolved at least 6 victims in sulfuric acid between 1944 and 49. It would apparently take effort, lots of acid, and a good few days to dissolve a body. You would be left with residue and probably also need a large amount of peroxide to be efficient about it. But it sounds like it can be and has been done. Okay, it has been done. Sulfuric acid used for water treatment plant. They're on an island. They probably need tap water. Sulfuric acid doesn't dissolve a body. Okay, so look, they're saying that I don't reckon he was dissolving bodies, honestly. It said orders drums for desalinization, and you just believe it. Just because they said that's what it's for doesn't mean that's what it's used for. This sub is being infiltrated by bots. Even a year ago, people would be all over this, but now everyone is just buying the official story. And yes, I know it's not like Breaking Bad, but they can still store bodies in it, and it will destroy DNA and other evidence. Did they ever find these barrels or where they were disposed of? He says there's probably hundreds of empty barrels, LMAO. No one's saying it straight up didn't happen, but it's pretty clear the primary purpose of acid is for the water plant. It would be borderline impossible to have running water on the island without it, and no wealthy person is visiting an island without basic accommodations, party or not. He's got an island with no authorities on it, and y'all think he's dissolving bodies. He could burn, eat, or toss them into the sea, or bury them for nothing. Dead bodies can't dissolve themselves. Okay, let's not forget the trapdoor that led to the ocean. Okay, look, it's an interesting theory. I saw this going viral today. Conclusion, I don't think he was dissolving bodies. I don't think he was dissolving bodies. He did have all the ingredients to dissolve bodies, though. Did have the ingredients to dissolve bodies, but I don't think that he was dissolving bodies. You guys let me know, do you think he was dissolving bodies in the comments? I'm not sure I buy this one. This one, that's a reach. I would say that one's a reach. But anyway, we're going to keep breaking it down. I've got 2 other well-researched documents about some stuff that he was getting up to. I just saw this post. I wanted to do a quick reaction and let you guys know because I saw this post was going viral and I just wanted to put the word out and just explore both sides of the opinion, okay? This whole point of this channel, okay, is for you guys to learn with me about the things that are going crazy on the internet, okay? And it just so happens right now that is Jeffrey Epstein and barrels of acid. It does sound bad, okay? But anyway, I will catch you guys in the next video. I'm going to do a longer one very shortly. Stay tuned. I appreciate you watching, and I'm out. Peace.